Scott and Arbor, time for another Hitman Rating episode. This time we're going to do the Attitude Era.
Jake Lloyd Bacon, this is going to be the best Attitude Era. Oh, we got so many to choose from.
I mean, the Attitude Era was filled with dudes with attitudes,
Val
right?
Venus.
Oh, Val Venus. What would his rating be?
69.
Well, it only goes up to 10 in each category.
69.
You can only have a maximum of 30, though.
69. Because, get it?
Oh, because of sex.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott and Arbor.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Hello to everybody out there joining us for another episode of the PWP. Whether you are listening to this in the pod feed, whether you're watching the live stream, either live as it happens or after the fact over on the Patreon, we appreciate you joining us as we talk a bunch of bullshit, because that is what we do. Scott and Arbor.
Whether you're doing your work a little less effectively because you're listening to us, or, you know, ignoring your partner just a little bit more than you normally would because you're listening to us, we like to think that we're just a good distraction in life no matter what.
And the ultimate distraction, of course, is Tony Griggs, current PWP world champ. If you would like to challenge Tony for that title, well, you have got, let's see, one more week to do so. In 2 weeks, he will defend that title. So you got to become a patron in order to get your name in that jar. Over at patreon.com/Wrestling Palskis.
That's right. You don't even have to bare knuckle box for it.
No, you have to click a box.
Yeah.
Some sort of box you'll have to
But
click.
you can wear gloves.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Or
Yeah.
whatever. And whatever weight you want.
Whatever weight you want?
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
WEIGHT.
I'm not a dog. You don't have to spell it out for me so I don't get excited.
Do you want to go OUT? Our dogs definitely know what OUT stands for. Like when we say OUT, they go, well, we've ruined it. Because now we no longer say the word out. We only say the word that they know. We've trained them to, we should start saying out again.
OUTSIDE? Then be like,
adding to it. Scott and Arbor, we are going to do something today that has never been done in the history of all wrestling podcasts.
What?
We're going to talk about the Attitude Era.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no one's ever done that.
No, not once.
I've never. I don't think there are other wrestling podcasts.
Conrad Thompson doesn't even know how a microphone works.
Really?
Nope. He just sells houses.
I had no idea. I thought he was a microphone professional.
Nope.
It is not any regular conversation about the Attitude Era, though. We're gonna go ahead and
Irregular?
we're gonna go and have an irregular conversation.
All right.
That's why I'm drinking this coffee, so that I could try to get a little more regular. It's got a whale on it because it's gonna be a whale of a good time, because we are doing a Hitman Rating System episode.
Is it a blue whale?
Uh-huh.
Why is it white and the mug is blue? That's stupid. Broken, return.
It used to say Museum of Natural History here, but it washed off in
You
the
drank it
dishwasher.
off?
It came off in the dishwasher. So it shows you the quality of products being sold, personalized at the Museum of Natural History in New York.
Shut him down. Linda McMahon, get on it. Jake wants it.
Fuck that. There's no A1 in that entire place. I checked. I got a
is.
sandwich and I couldn't get any sauce on it.
That's what they put on the krill for the whales to eat.
It's not they're not real animals. It's not an aquarium.
Krill's not real?
Krill's not real. Krill not real.
I don't buy that. I believe it's a Travis Scott song. Krill is real.
Krill.
Krill's
not real. Krill. Real. Sorry, I just noticed. I just got distracted because I just read the label on the side of the box for the...
Shut the people at home.
I know I will. But for the microphone pop filter that you are using, and
Yeah.
just giant letters, I just saw the word warning, cancer, in big giant letters there.
Yeah.
Warning, cancer and reproductive harm. Huh, who knew?
I got both.
www.p65warnings.california.gov.
Oh, I've been P66ing, 67ing, 68ing, and at the intro, I was 69ing.
All right. Well, speaking of reproductive harm, let's talk about the Attitude Era.
Sure.
Obviously, there's a litany of talent. How do we want to decide who we're going to rate via our beloved Hitman rating system?
Choosing at random, bro.
Oh, really? We're going to how do we do that?
You shot down the encyclopedia idea earlier, so.
Well, no, because how do we do an encyclopedia that's just, you said Attitude Era instead of encyclopedia. You try to blame me for something. You're the one who picked a whole new era.
Yeah.
So you want to do both?
No, we can just pick people. APA!
Oh, shit. So
see, I just picked someone at random.
Great. Fantastic. So are we doing them as a team? Collectively?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. This is fun. I like this.
APA, the always pounding ass.
Is that what it stands for?
We've had
the second episode where you're bringing up butt sex a lot today.
Only because you did.
I never brought it up once. You started the whole day.
It's recorded. It's in your system that you said butt sex, and I said nothing about it.
You told me to say it in a quick little session.
You just say what everybody tells you to say. No wonder you're MAGA. My God, there is a shirt. We've talked about this previously, and I believe you need to bring it up now for the listeners to see. An amazing shirt from the APA that said "always pounding ass" on it, and they wore them on television.
Yes, they certainly did. Let me pull that up for the live streamers. There you go. There it is. Yep. Always pounding ass.
You can get photos of them.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember this.
Ron Simmons and Farouk. There you go on the far right there. There's Ron Simmons wearing it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's
always pounding ass.
Bar and Grill. It's the name of a bar and grill.
No.
It says always pounding ass bar and grill underneath it.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not. And also it says APA protection. Like it's such a goofy shirt for so many reasons because APA stands for Acolyte Protection Agency.
Yes.
So it says Acolyte Protection Agency Protection.
Yeah.
Always
ATM
pounding
machine.
ass bar and grill. Just a bunch of fucking words. It's like a bunch of Asian Temu toys that just have extra fucking words all over them.
Right. Spidering Man. It's also a terrible design for the shirt. Like the text of it is atrocious.
Yeah.
The fact that the P and the A, they've tried to make them larger, but there's no consistency for any of it. The weight of it's all off. That's a terrible shirt.
Yeah. When always pounding ass, make sure the weight is correct.
Yeah. But it does say bar and grill, just to clarify.
Doesn't matter.
Alrighty. Well, there you go. We're talking about the APA. As you can see, I have our roster pulled up here thanks to SmackDownHotel.com. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's loosely not accurate at all.
I do love some of these photos though. Okay, well, anyways, APA.
I'm thinking of the look. They're rocking the jeans, not the acolytes, not with the symbols,
right?
But they also wore those tights for too long.
Sure,
it took them a long time to get jeans
to nix the ministry
and have the black gloves and some sort of sleeveless shirt,
right? To be hired beer drinking, card playing thugs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going by.
Yeah.
Do we need to remind people of what the Hitman rating system is?
Always.
Great. Hitman rating system.
Everything like it's the first episode.
Every wrestler, in this instance, a tag team collectively, can be rated in 3 distinct categories from 1 to 10. Those categories are look, promo, and wrestling. The maximum score, of course, being a 30. So the idea being that a perfect wrestler is a score of 30 and the worst wrestler is a score of 0 or 3. Or 1. I don't know, depending on, but yes.
Yeah, because
it's 1 to 10. There's no 0. Yeah, of course. So that's the Hitman rating system as created by Bret Hitman Hart, and I like it. It works.
Yeah, I think it does work.
It's pretty effective so far. Science. All right.
With a dash of opinion.
Of course. And obviously, Scott and I attempt to come to an agreement and have a collective PWP rating.
I think it could be said that I am harsher in my points given,
and
you are more generous in your points given.
I think so. And because we are doing Attitude Era wrestlers, this is in a massive experiment of, do I remember any of these fucking people actually wrestling? Because there are a lot of wrestlers of the era I recall. Couldn't tell you what they did in the ring.
Okay.
Not APA, of course. These are two guys who are also independently very,
Wealthy.
fixtures and massively wealthy. I mean, when you see those two guys next to each other walking down to the ring, especially like Bradshaw with the long jet black hair at the time,
Mm-hmm.
Ron Simmons with the mustache, and they're just like, they look. Ron Simmons not have a mustache? You're making that face. Is this like the Stanley episode of?
I think we just looked at him, and
that's really funny. I feel like I associate him with like a mustache or goatee.
at times maybe goatee. I think you should just look up pictures of APA
Sure.
rather than this amalgamation.
Yeah, he's
of-
got a goatee. I knew it.
No, you said mustache.
But I think I think of his mustache as more
WCW.
definitive. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm thinking of the WCW. Ron Simmons, I wrote.
Yeah, see, like that look, that second photo.
Sure. No, you're right.
That's like APA.
Yeah.
That's the look that was established in the solid one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Are you not sharing?
I am not sharing it. No, I completely and
Good.
totally forgot about that. There you go. So, I mean, I don't know.
They
that
are
with that
always
gimmick,
pounding ass.
I don't know with that look and this specific, specifically the way that they look for this specific gimmick, that it literally gets any better than that.
Well, Ron doesn't have earrings.
Do you think that he needs
And
earrings?
Bradshaw does, which,
Are you knocking points off for a lack of earrings?
or one has earrings. Like, which way do you go? Everything is similar. They both are rocking goatees. They both have black hair. They both have black gloves. They both have jeans. And then one guy's like, I want earrings.
Yeah, they're kind of different. They're kind of different goatees, though. They're not the same.
Well, they don't grow the same.
Uh,
I don't think Bradshaw has the connector.
but
in there.
also, I don't think Ron has the length. Because
but
Bradshaw's got that. He's got
the
my
girth.
mustache.
He's got the girth.
That's fair. I also just loved how long. I love that Ron never shaved his head. I love that he was like, no, I see that my hairline is going back, but I'm gonna keep the circular.
Tell me I got a 5 head. Just tell me.
Just fucking tell me. It makes him. It gives him that old school old man tough vibe
Mm-hmm.
that we love and reminisce about in like old 80s movies.
Mhm.
Like I fucking love it. It's so great. I think they're a 10 as far as look. I don't know.
Oh my God.
You don't
10?
think so?
No, 10 is perfection.
But that's what this is for this. Is it not associated with the gimmick, or is it just
I
independent?
think you like it a lot, but I can't give that just an overall 10.
I will say Bradshaw's
because
looks all
again,
soft here.
that shirt also says Acolyte Protection, Agency
okay.
Protection.
So we're including right. All right, I get it. You're that's true. We're including the terrible shirt and the ass pounding shirt.
yeah, like there's still elements of it where it's like, it's pretty good, but
Did they wrestle in the shirts? I can't
Yeah.
remember. They did.
and they also did not, I think, as well.
For some reason I think of them just in the jeans, but I guess you're right.
But no, is it a 10? Like, is it
wow, all right.
is it a Ric Flair robe? Is it a these types of things? Like, no, it's pretty solid. I'd say that's like I'd say a 7.5 or 8.
All right.
But also,
There's a lot more photos of them.
Also, Bradshaw's hair is not great.
Oh,
Bradshaw's
really?
hair,
You don't like it?
his dyed job hair, and his physical look, Bradshaw brings him down a little bit. Bradshaw's got,
I was just gonna say
he's got
even in
bitch
that-
tits.
Even in that photo, he
The
looks
B
a little soft.
in JBL is bitch tits. Okay, so it's Ron is a statue. He's great.
Yeah.
But Bradshaw brings him down a little bit. The earrings is a little bit in question. It doesn't really fit or do anything. It's a little distracting. Like it's not 10. That's why it goes like 7.5 or 8 for.
They both got a 0 for these signatures here. Jeez Louise. Could you try writing your name? Why does Bradshaw look like his name starts with a T or an F?
Well, because that says Farouk on the left there.
Oh, it says
and
Farouk.
Bradshaw was under
That's
his picture.
hilarious. Well, I knew Bradshaw. I know that's Bradshaw, but that's funny. I completely forgot that his name was Farouk. And no fun. I was like, why is it an F?
Jesus.
Oh, but his name is Ron Simmons. Why does it say Ron? There's not even an R. All right. So you want to go 8?
I'll go 8.
Great. Let's go 8.
Bradshaw brings him down.
And I accept that and I agree. Promo. Now, I feel like when I think of them, I don't think of a promo. I think of them playing cards with other people, and like that's all part of this. Promo is also just how you talk. It's how good you are talking.
There were plenty of times when Bradshaw would say a lot, and Ron would talk from time to time. But one of my favorite segments of theirs was, let me see if I can figure out all the players in place. Those guys were playing cards, and maybe Curtis Hughes was there, and I think Jericho.
Okay.
And Jericho is playing cards against them. I may have this wrong. And he's running out of money. And Farouk says, "Bet your bitch." And he goes, "What?" And he's telling him to put, I think it's Finkel on the line, like whoever his little lackey is. I can't remember if it's Finkel. I don't think it's Hughes, but Jericho has a lackey at the time. And Farouk just going, "Bet your bitch." So there'd be little things like that. It wasn't, he had more than just damn at the time. Damn was always the button for the entire segment. It wasn't just
right.
All these things
That's
happen,
how we got out of here.
and he just says one thing the whole time. No, sadly, like they didn't give him more lines as the years went on. So Farouk had much more involved, and he was fun, but you couldn't always catch what he was saying. A lot of the times it was just like thrown in and there's other noise.
He was like Tamina, but he was actually saying stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And they wouldn't give the focus of it.
Right.
And Bradshaw would sometimes have the rallying cry. Like he'd have the rallying cry program was like, "Come on, boys, we're going to do this thing. We're going to whoop everybody's ass in there." Right. Yeah. So those were exciting, get you going.
Right.
And they weren't very layered, but he got everybody pumped up.
Right.
And he certainly, with the promo, that with a look or anything else, and then the few choice words, if something happened, if Crash Holly was not going through the door,
right,
that was the APA.
Sure,
like if he went through the wall,
"What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're walking through the wall." Yeah, of course.
They could convey enough and always get people to react and emote in the right ways. They certainly could connect with an audience all the time. But Ron lacked a little bit when it came to clarity.
Right.
And there just wasn't a overall, like you're saying, like promos for matches, promos for things coming up.
Yeah.
It was a lot of spur of the moment. This thing's happening and we're going to do this right now.
And it felt like very much like, oh, we have an idea, roll the cameras. We're going to play an improv game in the backstage, and these not trained performers. So sometimes it was just chaos. Like I bet you if we would have watched back on all of those APA segments, I bet you the vast majority of them are just people talking over each other.
It's a Robert Altman movie.
Yeah, it's just like pure chaos. But I don't recall them being bad ever. I recall I recall it getting tired after a while, but it was always like, oh, they're doing this.
Because it just felt the same.
Yeah, they.
So I'd say highly functional and entertaining. So I'd say 7.
I agree. I think that I agree that their look is probably better than their promo. Yeah. And therefore that's why that's my comparison.
As a collective look, it was more solid than a back and forth team for a promo.
Right. Yeah. Wrestling.
They certainly fucking hit hard, and you're aware of it.
I mean, most people did not like wrestling them.
Yeah, but it wasn't great matches. It was that's hard hitting and believable.
Right.
And it gave you the sense of, oh no, you have to fight those guys. You're fucked.
Yeah, I can't think of a APA classic. I can't think of like that's that one match that I still remember. Honestly, I can't think of an APA match. I can't think of a high profile one.
There's a gauntlet that was pretty cool that they were involved in, and they lasted a long time. And I want to say one of the Rumble matches were them versus the Outlaws that I was looking forward to, and it felt like it was cut short for time. It is okay, but they didn't have a lot of chemistry with other tag teams. It wasn't like an LOD thing where LOD could rock with a bunch of people.
Right.
Like they had really, really great matches. These guys were just brutes. Unlike a Demolition where again, like you're saying, there's not a lot of classic matches. They just fought people a lot and it felt like a fight. Right. So in no way was it clunky or botched or something fucked up. Yeah, that's that one I was thinking of. The Outlaws versus the Rumble in 2000. But they just, again, functional. So maybe I go like 5.5, 6.
I feel like only because of the lack of memorability. Again, this is gonna be my problem for everybody from this era. I also probably rate it low. It's tough for me to look at both of these guys as individuals and think that as a tag team they're that low. But I'll concede to that. A 6, I think, is fair as the tag team goes.
Okay.
Also, did they have like a tag move? Did they work in a way that was like, did they have, or was it very much just like two singles guys who just were both beat the shit out of you?
I don't recall it a signature tag team move because it was the clothesline from hell and the
not the Dominator.
Yeah, the Dominator. Yeah.
Right.
I almost called it the Devastator.
Right. It is also interesting. I didn't share, of course, I was looking at because I keep forgetting to do that. But here, I'll do it. I was looking at the Sportster article, 10 best matches of APA, to see if anything jogged my memory. It's kind of amazing how many of these matches are them and a third person in six-man tags. That's pretty interesting because it's like, oh yeah, that's probably not a great sign that just the two of you has had a bunch.
Well, so far there's only one.
Well, okay, so this is a big 8-man tag, it looks like. With The Rock versus Triple H. There's an additional one with Chris Jericho versus DX. Here's another 3-way, Hardy's and Edge and Christian with them. With the Dudley Boys versus Right to Censor. That's a 4-on-4, I suppose.
Yeah.
Versus Triple H and Kurt Angle is their number 1, that says, according to this.
It's their number 1.
Yeah.
But that's overshadowed by clearly that image of it's
right.
Kurt Angle and Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah.
And not much of the match.
Right. But all in all, let's see. That puts them at a total
the APA collectively
at 8 and 7 is 15 and 6 is 21. Assuming I did that math right. 21 out of 30.
It's not bad. I think that's fitting.
All right.
You want to pick?
I'm just gonna do what you said and try to be as random as possible. I pulled this list up. Let's just scroll down and just stop and just go to here. Rikishi.
Whoa.
I landed on Rikishi.
Whoa.
Attitude Era Rikishi.
As long as you didn't land in Rikishi.
A lot of people did. Attitude Era Rikishi. We're talking too cool. We're talking
pre-fat wear.
The PHAT fat wear. Is that what that was?
I believe that's what it was called. It wasn't FUBU, but it had vibes of that.
Okay.
Yeah, look up Rikishi PHAT wear.
Whoops. Yes, I did mean that.
That's when he went on his own.
Right.
I think it was just before he became a bad guy and was trying to wear this and do a lot with this, and it just felt like, okay, that's nice that you have an endorsement deal or you're starting something, but it's a lot.
I do recall these outfits, but I don't think I placed that like this was like a thing that he was selling versus just like, yeah, this was his wrestling gear.
It felt like it. It felt, if we're supposed to buy this, that feels too expensive.
Right.
We're dealing with two pieces. I am not Rikishi, nor do I feel wearing fat wear would be anything that I could connect to or pull off.
Sure.
But just Rikishi before this, I think the one that had, what would you call that little entrance piece that he had? The long skirt of it, right? Like this.
Was it some sort of Samoan skirt?
I don't know. Not necessarily the tribal colors or anything, but
that thing.
Because he would remove it.
Right. Yeah. With all the little strings on it.
Yeah. He'd remove that thing, and then that's when the butt reveal would happen.
Everybody loves the butt reveal.
And not as much as you love the Sportster.
I mean, it's what always comes up when you fucking Google search shit. And it wasn't even on this list. They used him in the, oh, here it is. Oh, it's because they're talking about his dancing. Never mind.
And Josie.
But yes, this is what we're talking about primarily.
This Rikishi gear with Rikishi on his weight belt or whatever that thing was on his waistband.
Sumo belt. Yeah.
Sure. And the pads and the shoes with the kick pads on over it, I think. Yeah. That look with the conch shells and the sunglasses.
Bleach blonde hair, which I think he always had.
Back.
Goatee, also bleach blonde, which I thought was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. No eyebrows?
Didn't commit to
Fucking
the
lazy
eyebrows. Dark
bitch.
eyebrows, yeah. Really phoned the eyebrows in.
Yeah, and letting everybody know you're a liar.
Alrighty. Rikishi's look. I mean,
his butt is part of the look.
It is all like it. I think
his dimply, huge butt.
If you think about all of the crazy characters of the era, if you didn't know any of them, okay, and you went to a show, he would be one of the ones you remembered the next day.
Sure.
Because
you'd remember
like,
it.
Right. Sure.
But is it
whether it was pleasurable
great
experience? Sure. Yeah. I mean,
because also one can argue, yeah, you'll walk away from a show going, I remember who Naked Midian is
100%,
because of what he looked like.
100%. Yeah.
But is it great?
No, you're 100% right.
I think I'd give it extra points because it's memorable enough and no one else looked like him at the time.
Yeah, it's
cohesive. If he came out during the
right.
time of now the Bloodline and we had a bunch of small characters, you go, oh yeah, no, the guy with the big butt.
Right. Yeah.
But it'd be more lost in the sauce than him being so unique looking amongst the roster.
Yeah, and it's like his build is unique, like you said, especially of that era.
Those nipples.
He's a big guy and got that big giant ass, but it never felt like he was unathletic in any capacity.
Correct.
Dude was he was a imposing figure regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I all in all, I think that his look is probably going to be the highest rating for me. It would be, in my opinion.
I go 7.
7. Yeah, I think I'm thinking 7.
Mm-hmm.
I might. If I wasn't now, you have made it a point of bringing up that I am too giving, and now I'm self-judging myself. I probably would have said 7.5 or 8 to be perfectly honest with you, but now I'm governing myself. But yeah, we'll say 7.
Yeah, because you could tell Bret Hart's like, hey, yeah, but I remember who he is. It's like, yeah, but that's not on the marquee.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
You also remember who James Ellsworth is too. But I will say though, like again, he was an imposing figure. The reveal of the big ass and the big everything, like also he played into it in his wrestling style.
Mm-hmm. But it was such a simple look that for a long time he kept that look, which I think was great. And on occasion I had a signature shirt that he's selling, like sure you're wearing those. But that second to top left picture, it's like, yeah, that's sort of the all-encompassing Rikishi.
Right.
He has that big waistband with his name on it, that longer skirt for the entrance. The glasses came on at the end, but that guy stands out. You know who he is. And then it's good enough. And then he got a big butt, which I don't know how they came about. If he's like, no, I know it'll make me look different than the rest. Show my butt.
Promo. I do not remember Rikishi's promo. I remember I did it for The Rock, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I watched
there
that
for
when it was happening. I think I just remember that from seeing it on like WWE Network specials and shit.
I believe that was in Anaheim.
What year was that? Do you remember?
I was there for that.
I think that was during my dark phase.
2000 or 2001.
Oh, never
because
mind.
Austin's out with a neck injury at the end of 99. And I think he comes back and is doing his investigation.
Right. Oh, then I definitely was watching.
In 2000s, it's Foley in the ring and Rikishi, and you there's no semblance of, well, it's obviously Rikishi. That's what's going on. And then Austin's in the ring, and I did it for The Rock.
Yeah.
And he's not good. There's a reason he was a silent character for so long, and he would dance.
I like the dancing, but that's not talking. I don't think he's a great speaker.
No.
I don't think he's a great like public speaker. And I see him, he seems like a really sweet guy.
He had some more time when he was a bad guy and doing some, I'm a big, bad, threatening guy, and I'm going to say this and that. But also, he was still wearing all those fucking fat wear clothes that would bunch up when he's bringing in his arms to talk.
You hear all
the mic,
and
it looked like. Did you see that Broken Skull Sessions with Undertaker, the second episode, when he's wearing this gigantic fucking leather jacket tarp thing on him?
Don't remember.
Look that up too, please.
Okay.
Broken Skull Sessions, Undertaker. And you'll see that the first one will show up too, I'm sure, where it's like, yeah, he looks like a guy that can be comfortable in clothes and is not worried about hot lights underneath him.
Oh, this thing.
When he's sitting back in his chair, like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
look
look.
at that fucking thing. It becomes this, he's in a hefty trash bag.
Yeah, that's really rough.
That's Rikishi when he's starting to talk and do these promos, and it's
Right.
like, dude,
It's all too rigid. There's not enough, like, yeah.
you're bunched up in this
Fluidity.
thing. So that certainly didn't add to him being comfortable on mic.
Right.
So he's not the worst, but it's not good.
No,
I mean, I'd say 3.5.
Oh, this is the first time that I was gonna go 2.5. But
I'll go with that.
Well, let's meet in the middle and we'll go 3.
3.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And it's also one of those things too, when doing promos, sometimes it's hard because we're also judging the writing of what's being said. And like some people are really good at saying bad shit. And some
But he
people,
was in an era when there was still like,
right.
hey,
Some,
here's your bullet points. Go
right.
talk.
But like, there's also just sometimes where it's just like, sometimes people just are bad even when the script is good. You know, like it's just, yeah.
But we don't have we
Right.
haven't seen clips forever of
Right.
the botchamanias of
Yep.
Rikishi promos.
Right.
So they were forgettable, not
Not
they didn't
memorable for
connect.
the wrong reason. Yeah.
but he said the words correctly.
Right. Wrestling.
I think this is his strongest score.
I think, and I think it's only because, yeah, I don't know. I feel like in my mind, the stink face ruined him for me. Like I associate it so much with him wrestling, and and that in a super kick or whatever he called it when it wasn't a super kick. That like I maybe I just forget like he is. I know that when he was younger, like pre Rikishi and like the early, like he's super athletic, he's really quick, and they always talked about how like he moves for such a big man and whatnot. But I guess I just the stink face really put a stink on it for me.
Why?
'Cause
Why
I just
with a guy with this a signature move that gets over like crazy, like the worm or the people's elbow or the mandible claw, that you don't like the stink face in that way that it would lower his wrestling score?
Maybe it's because he wasn't as high profile of a wrestler. So I think of those other people.
Sky Duati's more high
I
profile.
think of I wasn't including the worm in that. I guess when you said all those things rapid fire, I hung on to mandible claw and people's elbow. I guess I just have more memorable matches in my mind for them, whereas I don't have a ton of memorable Rikishi matches. And so when I think of them, the first thing I go to is that image. Whereas the first thing, I don't go to the mandible claw when I think of, I don't go to the people's elbow when I think of Rock, believe it or not, which is strange.
I just mean the move. That
I
when people
totally
go,
get it.
oh man, they're great.
I totally
that
get it.
fucking move though.
I totally
Jesus.
get it. No, and you're right. And this is just, I'm talking out loud. I'm trying to figure out what the answer is. And I think that's what it is. But,
Because at least that move,
Right.
to me, the stink face compared to those other moves where you go, that's a little silly. I mean, not the mandible claw so much, but the other ones where you go, that's fucking, I don't
Right.
know. There's the anticipation and the terror of, I'm a little knocked
right.
out.
Oh, shit.
And then Rikishi's doing the whole like, look, oh, they're over there. I'm going to do this to them.
And the fans just
And
go
then-
ape shit.
And then
Yeah.
they work it up like, wait, no.
No. And it's too
And
late. It's already coming at you.
The joy of it, like we're even laughing about
I
it
get
now.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Because some of the Booker T has one of the best reactions.
Yeah. Is that the face down one too? Is that one where he puts his, instead of putting chin up like so many of them did, he tucks his chin and takes it in the forehead?
Possibly, yeah. Some
Oh,
people took
God.
it. Some people were a real team player.
Oh, God. I
And
would never.
overall, yes. Did it go on too long? Was it, yes, we got everybody with it, but for a long time there, it was certainly satisfying of you they get their comeuppance.
Right.
But he sold it. Like he did the stuff like the little pre part of
Right.
it of
Yeah.
I think he'd like run up against them into the turnbuckle.
Right.
And they
So
kind of walk away.
That way they would fall.
Yeah, they'd sink and then the drop and then he'd do that peer and look.
Right.
Oh, did they fall down?
Yeah.
So that was all part of it, right?
Sure.
Like
No, I totally agree.
his kicks were amazing. That, like you
Yes,
said,
the
that super
super
kick that he
kick.
did. We did a watch along of him and Val Venus for the Intercontinental title in a steel cage, and Rikishi did that jump off the top,
Right.
which was fucking nutty as all hell. He took that bump off the Hell in the Cell and the 6-man,
right. Yeah.
into the flatbed truck.
Right. The truck. Oh, yeah. Not truck.
So a guy that was also willing to do some
Sure.
pretty gnarly stuff at that time, like you said. Oh, this big guy can move in a way
Right.
that you don't expect. Oh, he's also going above and beyond.
Right.
He would do the also too much, the turn inside out from the clothesline.
Yes, that I do recall that actually. Yeah,
Which
was
was another
for a guy his size,
unbelievable.
especially because he would do it like early. Like most people do it at the last minute. He would take the clothesline and immediately turn and tuck in a way that was
Couldn't believe it. We started doing it for too many people.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
It's like small little dudes are hitting him. Crash Holly's hitting them, and he's flipping inside out. Like, dude, come on.
But for a guy that went through a litany of fucking gimmicks and seemed like he was going to just be axed over and over again, wrestling with this look, along with the dancing, like that's what kept him.
Right.
Is it finally all clicked? So I think, to me, I'd say 7.
I was leaning 7. Yeah. I think that's I agree. Which gives him a total of 17.
Okay.
I think it's surprisingly low from what I would expect, but also
that promo
kind of
kills
makes
him.
sense. The promo kills him. Yeah, it makes sense. And this is why the Hitman system is so unique, because it really is like a perfect wrestler really truly needs to have all 3.
Because he was mid-card, upper mid-card for a long time.
Right.
And it was good and nothing wrong with that.
All right. You want to pick someone else?
Okay. Let's see here. I'll find this list, y'all. Attitude Era wrestlers. Okay. Nothing's more attitude than Gangrel.
Gangrel,
depending on where you're from.
What's his name? Heath? Gangrel Heath. Like, you have to say it all together now. Brian Heath, maybe? I thought his name was Brian, maybe.
I don't remember. I know he did share the screen.
Gangrel, David William Heath. David Heath, not Brian.
Yeah.
David Heath.
Human Centipede 3's own.
I mean, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one to not be a little biased of, too, because
you're a daywalker?
Because, listen, I mean, he's a vampire. They introduced him as a vampire in pro wrestling, and he worked. He made it work.
His eyes do a lot of the work.
100%.
His eyes. He looks like everyone when they get sucked out on the surface of Mars in Total Recall.
Right.
And they don't have air.
Eyes bug out.
And the eyes are bugging out. That's what
Plus his 3 tits.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like a
Gangrel, I wish I had 3 hands.
An old picture of Gangrel.
Put a year.
I guess I'll just write Attitude Era.
Because there's a few of them in there.
Yeah, I know. They're all mixed in. It is incredible though. Like it shows you, he's obviously aged.
There you
a lot,
go. That's the one you're hovering on right now.
There we go. Jeez Louise.
I feel like someone messed with that a little bit.
No, that's just what his eyes do.
Do they do that?
Yeah. He's doing that, but yeah, that's him.
Is that just a new side gig you could do to fuck with everybody a little bit? Is like change proportions on their face just a little bit, and then people Google search and go, I don't remember his face doing that. I guess he did. What a piece of shit.
All right. Well, Gangrel, the look. Like we've talked about this before, where your look doesn't always necessarily mean that you were good looking. It means that you had a good look for a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, when it comes to just his face with the fangs and the crazy eyes,
which he did as implants for a while.
Yes, right.
The fangs
they were legit.
Yeah.
He had them.
Yeah. Because he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Also.
Like they worked. Like he was a fucking weird looking dude. The bleach blonde hair that was like really thinning and receding somehow worked for him. He was also like, I
wearing the Seinfeld puffy shirt.
Yeah, the pirate shirt. I also feel like he, like his weight, his size fluctuated quite a bit. I think that there were times where he was more fit, sometimes where he was more fat. Not
too much though.
No,
not, like it was never something where you go, oh, dude, you've really slipped.
Sure. I mean, like, just an absolute fucking weirdo.
But in the time of the Attitude Era, it just stayed as it was.
Right.
It was just that it got the look is cooler because he spit the blood out and he had the red on him.
Added the red blood into his white, Interview with the Vampire shirt.
But there was a time where he got hurt for a while and then came back, and there was a lot of speculation like, oh, he's going to look a little different. Something's going to be different. He just tore the sleeves off his shirt. And I was like,
Correct.
that's it?
He's sleeveless now.
Edge and Christian and Hardy's and these other guys, like, they have, evolving looks here. And it just was this. It's like, hey, man, I got a shirt and a pair of sunglasses. That's it, man. I'm spending all my other money on floss for these fucking fangs. So it's basic, and it always felt like it was a good starting look.
Right.
But it never hit something else. There's never a big collar. There was never something that
Right. I agree.
was in addition. It's like, yeah, it's good. But I think what goes along with so many memories of Gangrel is what you're showing here with
The
like,
opening,
well, there's fucking fire in that music. It's like, yeah, but that's not the look.
Honestly, and here's the thing about Gangrel. Gangrel looked the best with Edge and Christian next to him. There's something about like Gangrel as a solos competitor that you just don't care as much about. It's the fact that he is this weird leader. He's this cult leader. That is what's interesting.
Oh, and he's the one holding the goblet.
Well, yeah, obviously.
The other guy's like, can I have it?
Wait a minute, is this the original Goblet of Fire?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I go 5.
I was going to be a little bit more gracious. I was going to say 6. It's
but
weird
none of
though,
the other
like,
stuff is the look. It's none of the music. It's none of the fire. It's none of the.
I know. Yeah. All right. I mean, he was a big dude though, but I guess that's not enough.
That's
not
also
just
of
enough.
the era.
Right. Yeah, you're right. All right, we'll go 5.
And
for
his body wasn't ever something where you go like, yeah, that's a fucking vampire.
Now, promo. This is an instance where, you think back to when you were a kid or a teenager, and you just fill in blanks of shit you thought. In my recollection, he's like a pretty good actor, and he was good at doing what he was doing.
Yeah, he's in Human Centipede 3.
Yet I still can't remember a single promo. But in my brain, I go, yeah, no, he was good. It's like playing the vampire character, but I don't remember.
He's good. There's that one time he goes,
right. Yeah, I don't know. Can you think of him as on his promos? Can you think of?
No, I really
I can kind of remember his laugh a little bit.
That, we've done this before. We bring up a Just don't show the video, right?
It was a fucking train wreck last time. Let's see, Gangrel.
Well, you just played audio in the last one. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah, that's fine. In ring promo, 1999.
Welcome back to Shotgun Saturday Night.
Here are 2 unique
individuals. Christian in the ring and Gangrel stepping through the ropes.
Oh, this has got to be a heat.
We're going to get the opportunity for, I believe,
the
first
Cornette.
time to hear exactly what these young men have to say for themselves.
I'm going to cut off the video just in case.
I know you're out there. I can feel you.
I want to know where he's from.
I can smell your rage. I wondered what that was. Ever since the frenzy, when our bloodlines first embraced, I knew you were so special.
He called it the bloodline, the original bloodline.
And that's why I brung your brother Christian here.
I brung your brother.
I've come to bring you home. Bring Edge home? What's he talking about?
If you were to say to a little kid, what does Gangrel sound like? This is it.
No.
Right.
Your real family needs you. Real family? You can hide behind all that anger, but you will never escape.
All right, can I stop this now?
Your destiny that was set upon you a long, long time
Wait a minute, hang on a second.
Why didn't he say density?
Don't look at him.
This is not our world.
Imagine Cody Rhodes doing a voice.
Why did you bring our
Blood
world
dust
here?
Yeah, blood dust.
But know this, my friend. And know
He sounds
this
like Cody
well.
Rhodes doing a voice.
I will never
Those fangs are probably
rest
fucking him up.
until I have your rage and your fury beside me where it belongs. Folks, we'll be right back with more creature features.
Oh, I enjoy it for all the wrong reasons. But 2? I know we're going off of 1 here, but like you said previously, we don't remember.
I just saw another clip that's listed as, here it is, the most disastrous promo in SmackDown history with Gangrel. Should we play this?
All right, clickbait, let's go.
Initially has not spoken by our own choice, and then later it was forbidden by The Undertaker. Well, when the Brood entered this world, we craved a guidance. That guiding light to show us the way. And that was the Undertaker. Well, unfortunately, the Undertaker's thoughts and feelings were not the same as ours.
So
When in
bad.
the darkness, we seek a much different light. We live our collective lifestyles for who we are and what we believe in. In this search
Oof.
of the mystery of life and the hereafter. And the power is what we seek. And it's within all of us.
Oh,
And
no.
we just have to unleash it.
Well, with all due respect, some say
Is this going to be respectful?
some say they don't understand your lifestyle, and
I think that was it.
others, quite frankly, think the Brood are basically off the charts.
Off the charts? Off the reservation?
I think this is where it gets bad. Here we go.
No.
Young Edge.
They will understand. Understanding is just a matter of time. The power lies within us.
Edge is
My
better.
face will
Must
sink.
find it.
My jaw will grow.
We are who
You'll
we
see
are.
in
The
time.
unholy trio. And we will become what we will become.
Oh, okay.
For those who believe, will follow. For those that don't, will merely exist.
Oh, that
So,
seems
Doc,
fine.
I suggest
I'll exist.
that you beware. Take care, because the freaks come out at night.
No 3 rhymes? Okay, the worst,
Alright.
the most disastrous promo in SmackDown history is still Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon. That still wins by a long shot. That wasn't even fucking close. He's not good. Gangrel's bad. The bad laughter, the bad guy laughter when it's, I don't know what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. I go 2
Yeah.
because
I
he's
think
still
2 is being
coherent.
yeah, I think 2 is being kind, but I think that's fair. 2.
Yeah. A 1 is again the collective, like, oh my god! Every
Right.
time he's on mic, it's just a
Like, please
bumblefuck.
stop. Yeah. Forgetting his lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although he kind of did feel like he forgot his lines there. Alrighty. I gotta save that just because I don't know if it recorded. I gotta get it later. Wrestling.
Also not great.
Not great. I thought Gangrel would get a higher rating.
I think he will.
No. I meant
then
like
promo.
I meant like I meant like in total. But yeah, it's true. Like this is when you break it down.
It's
I think he
You
was
know,
a
of the era-
perfectly serviceable character of the era
yes,
for like I don't recall him like looking clunky in the ring or bad, but
Right.
he was just like he was like
people know how to work,
blanket worker. Yeah, exactly.
but were there people they had chemistry with in that time that we saw on television?
Right.
No.
Right.
Are there people that maybe now he could do something more with, but he's more beat up? It's probably bad circumstances of the time, and he's maybe a utility guy overall.
Right.
But it's, hey, we found the fun gimmick with
The
you,
problem-
so we
yeah.
have more to milk out of this.
I
But
feel like
he didn't have legs in the long run because just wasn't there.
he couldn't be the utility guy because of the gimmick they gave him. He could have
And
been
he
the
couldn't
kind of guy
rise
that,
above it because
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
amazing, and now we have this gimmick. Holy shit, he's going to take off.
right. But also like you can't just like have an enhancement guy who's a vampire. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
you get what I'm saying.
Kevin Thorne,
Oh, okay.
Shelly Martinez.
So 4, 5. I feel like in the past we've given people who were just fine in that range, like run of the mill. They're not a bad. They don't go out there and like mess up holds.
But hardcore is what I remember.
Yeah.
The stuff that he did later, and it's like that's all.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. Again, we can't give him points for all the shit that everybody else came up with. I go 3, just because there's just nothing that I can think of. It's that I don't remember Gangrel matches ago.
Sure. Right. Sure.
Oh yeah, no, he's fine. It's
Right.
3 or 4. I could go with. So
I gave him a 3.
Okay.
Lands him at a 10 total.
might be our lowest.
It is like ever. I'll have to revert back to old episodes, but maybe.
It might be our lowest.
Maybe. Might be the worst person we've no, because we had some pretty bad people in these. I gotta
But didn't
find
they
those
have
sheets.
an attribute? Because that's
Right.
the thing.
Yeah.
He is an unfortunate for the Bret Hart scale. He doesn't have like music or other stuff that the guy can't get credit for.
Right. Yeah. All right, should we do one more?
Yeah, one more.
Attitude Era Lita,
Oh,
because we haven't
you're
done a
looking
lady
at
yet.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, me too.
One time I did.
I thought you were saying you let me know when you eventually do. Lita, Attitude Era Lita, Team Extreme. This is tough because we're going to be judging a woman wrestler in the Attitude Era when they infamously kind of weren't getting a ton to do, or they were seen as sex object, and a few of them really did stand out, just like she's one of them.
I would
Not as bad as the Divas Era, but
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like no, there was a lot that many of them got to do. So we're going look.
I mean, when it comes to looking like a wrestler at that time, standing out, what? Why are you laughing?
Because just the first part of the sentence was really funny when it comes to look in that era of a time, like Rikishi before with a sweet ass thong.
I said looking like a wrestler.
There was a second thong that was just as nice, and that was Lita's.
Not at all what I was saying. Trying to compare it to the other women on the roster of the era at a time when it was just like blonde, big fake boobs.
Yeah, we had
You've got this
redhead, big fake boobs.
but there's like the counterculture. She's like a little tomboy, but she's still sexy, and she's like the grungy
Latin
kid
stuff.
Yeah, came in with S.A. Rio. What's his name?
Yeah, S.A. Rios,
S.A.
and then
Rios.
also has that massive.
Yeah, the big awesome like Aztec
tattoo.
kind of like. Man, I think she's got a great look, captivating, pretty, but not like a model blondie kind of person who you don't think is a fighter. Like she was pretty, but in a way that like she seemed like she could scrap.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she's 7.5.
Well, you have
8.
to talk about the thong. The thong is
Sure, but
clearly signature part of
definitely came
why
into it.
she stuck out.
That was the sex
compared to everybody else.
Was it the only? I don't think it was the only reason. I think the red hair helped. I think the fact that she was like, doing the Hurricane Ranas, and she was a little bit more of a lucha. She was a little bit more of a high flyer.
Yeah,
I know that that's part of it, but
the thong was also a major element of.
Sure.
Well, Jesus Christ, what is that?
The whale back.
Because so many ladies were up top
looks like that.
doing the chesticles that were featured.
the chesticles, right? Of course.
And then this was
Right.
look over here.
Right.
I'm doing this before any of the
Yeah.
ladies. So you take notice and you go, well, Jesus Christ.
I'm
what is
thinking 7.5 or 8 for the look. Because
Yeah,
she was also fit and athletic. She wasn't like, she was thin and small, but she wasn't scrawny either.
that? Right. She's no
Which-
Bertha Faye.
Sure.
Yeah, it was unique. It was striking. And I certainly kind of look at the scale between the men and the women differently because it's
Of course.
amongst who you got that I can't
Right.
say for all of the ladies and all the men to stack up against each other. So yeah, I'd say totally unique, very attractive, fiery, scrapper, like all parts about it. And it was intriguing, like that tattoo where the tattoos could be the death of some
Right,
people
totally.
look wise, but that added intrigue.
And this is this is when a lot of women had tattoos.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's
The
super
law
common.
passed
Yeah.
in 1997.
Sure.
Let the ladies be inked.
The wrestling law specifically, but yeah. I don't know. You're actually upselling me now. I'm thinking 8 more than 7.5.
Yeah, I go 8.
Yeah. Promo, I think this is going to be your weakest spot by a mile. I just remember feeling like she was always clunky. And it was like, I liked her. And so you forgive people that you like, you forgive some of their weak stuff. And you're like, yeah, it's fine. But I feel like it was always like, what are my lines? Okay, I'm saying them now, and we're going to get you. And we're Team Extreme, or we're whatever, whoever I'm with.
We're a bunch of people that can talk really well. Isn't that right, Matt and Jeff?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, no.
Right. Now, do I think she's as bad as a Gangrel? No, I don't.
No,
but
I don't either. But that's why I'd say a 3.
You think her and Rikishi are in the same position?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She can't control a room with her promos.
No.
It was
agree.
backstage. She could convey some information fine, but there was one in ring and people were like, oh yeah, you're fucking awesome. You're super cool. Like,
Right.
okay, that's right. And we're extreme. Ooh, I got the word out. Okay.
Right.
Like Trish, I don't think Trish was great.
No.
Trish could command a room back in the Attitude
Sure.
Era days.
Yeah, of course.
She could still wrangle it and it wasn't, I don't think, captivating.
No,
But Lita didn't
she
have
filled-
that quality.
She filled the role, that star role, whereas Lita needed to move to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So speaking of which, wrestling.
See, this is where I go. Oh, I think she was clunky a lot of the time.
See, and again, rose-colored glasses and your romanticized shit from your childhood. Like, I recall just her being my favorite one to watch, because to me, she was doing the things that I thought were exciting. And
She
so,
did very exciting things, no doubt.
right. But you're right. If I go back and watch a bunch of her matches from that era as an adult and not with the kid glasses of like, oh, pretty girl, and I'm and it's just like she's doing a Hurricane Rana a bunch. Or I just remember her being super exciting and loving watching her. She did like I loved the way that she did, the fucking guys moves, and she adopted whoever she like.
And when she rode through it, like when those Hurricane Ranas happened, she'd be up there, and then that snap, like she had great,
right,
unique timing to some of these moves that was exceptional. But
do you know what it was? I feel like she was almost like this is going to be so hyperbolic that you're going to roll your eyes at me, but I feel like she's one of the first people who like felt like she was really trained completely differently than the people who came into the company. Whereas nowadays it's really noticeable when someone comes from New Japan or somebody comes from, like a different company, and then they have to like change their style for WWE. She's kind of like an OG of that in my mind. Like, yeah, no, she came in and just felt like, oh, she's not wrestling the way that everybody here wrestles.
Well, from what I recall of her story, she had trained in Lucha Libre
right
just before arriving there. So she had something that was unique in that she's American born.
Right.
And she has a different style than everybody else, and she can speak English. So this is wildly unique, where I don't know the scene in Mexico for women, especially at that time.
Sure.
It's probably very sparse, or
right.
For the WWF that they're hiring or bringing on Japanese wrestlers, Mexican wrestlers, and they go, it's great, we had some matches, but the crowd doesn't really give a shit. They can't talk, and we can't do much with this. Oh shit, she can wrestle their style, but she's from here? Fuck. We could do a lot with that. That's totally different. As long as whoever she's in the ring with can adapt and feed into that, we got something great here that is totally unique. So yes, I agree. She was so unique in that way.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is I feel like it's like you kind of have to judge, at least in this category, at least in the wrestling category, you kind of have to judge each person in their landscape.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I don't think it's fair to judge, a Bruno Sammartino era wrestler against an AEW modern day wrestler.
Right.
For the same. Yeah, exactly.
Because those things,
they're two different
worlds that hadn't adapted. Could Bruno have learned and done things differently in a different era? I think he's totally capable of that.
Right.
But it wasn't there. So for Lita's wrestling, 6.5. It's kind of where I was thinking.
I was leaning 7. I think it's a little bit more. Again, I think just given the class that she's from, I'm just thinking of all the ladies and like where they would fall in that. And I would go 6.5, but I think 7.
Go 7.
I think 7's a nice clean, like, there are 3 spots above, full stops above her of, 8, 9, and 10, which makes sense. But also,
is that how that works?
Yeah, that's how that works. That puts Lita at 18 total. That seems apropos. We never put Lita on the screen, and I felt bad, so I was going to try to find some photos, because you got to give the viewers some eye candy.
And this is Attitude Era.
Yeah,
Lita,
I wrote
that we're specifying with all these. It's not the overall career,
right? Yeah,
Litas or things. Because those outfits later, that look, my goodness, would have got a higher score.
Oh, you would have got a higher score, you said?
Should any of us talk? No, just do fingers.
Oh, you're talking about that image. Right. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, she's fucking Lita, right? I also love that she was fit. Like, I feel like that was so, like, her body type was so.
No, these fat broads that were in there.
I meant
that Mike Awesome wanted.
I meant more so the scrawnies, but Alrighty, you
You don't
want to do
think
one
there's some
more?
other fit ladies?
No, there was definitely plenty, but
Tori.
Yeah.
Not Wilson. The other one, Tori.
You want to do one more?
We can. I thought we were out of time. I thought we were closing on
We can do
Lita.
one more.
Oh.
As long as we do it quick. That way we have a nice 5. I feel like 4 is a small number.
Oh, what?
We talk so much about Rikishi's butt.
But then what goes after 5? I don't know how the scale
Right,
works.
we end.
Oh, I thought you were going to do that. Then there's 6 and 7.
No, I know you were mocking me. I was ignoring it.
What I? All right. You can deny this one.
Okay. Because it's...
I was going to throw you a curveball.
Alrighty, sure.
I'm going to throw you a manager.
Yeah, but how do we do that?
Oh, I guess no wrestling. Yeah.
yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
tough.
I was just thinking, look. All right.
We need to find out what Hitman's rating system is for managers.
Yeah, once we're out of episodes for the other ones.
Of every wrestler ever.
Okay. I almost had one, but it's like, no, I know what one of the scores is going to be. It's just low and mean. It's no good. Let me see here. I'm looking at all these photos and going, you fucking hate all these people.
No, then just pick somebody.
I know, but you're like, oh God, they exist. Let's go with Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, great pick.
Thanks.
Great place to end it. Attitude Era, Kurt Angle. I mean, the most successful version of what this is, plucked from, the world of actual wrestling, actual gold medalist. There's all of this legitimacy to who he is.
Actual pizza commercial.
Great story. Won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Comes in and is just an absolute piece of clay.
Fought meat in his first match.
Right.
He was all seasoning against that steak.
But I mean, just like the fact that he succeeded is astounding. But he just the dude came in and he was just molded. He was just well,
this is the one they actually worked with,
right,
compared to, we were on a streak here during this. Hey, everything's booming for WWF and we signed someone great. Fucking get in the ring and figure it out. You got this, right? You're an athlete. We signed you.
Right.
You're a big name. Everyone else we signed before were wrestlers, but you'll figure it out, right? Mark Henry. No, they didn't train him. Yep. He was scared and fucking, how could he figure it out?
Debut match, I think he had 3 bumps under his regimen.
And who else? We had some UFC fighters. We had Dan Severn and Shamrock, and they started to work with a couple of them here and there, but it was so counterintuitive to what they knew when you're an athlete. No, I'm supposed to protect myself and not give you my body and fuck it up.
Right.
But Kurt was the first one. They go, okay, we got to train this guy.
Right.
But he exceeded all expectations. He exceeded.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
With not just the wrestling, it was the promo and everything as well, that he was the first of a few in this modern era that skyrocketed in under a year.
Right.
We had Brock.
Right.
There's a few other that I'm blanking on at the moment,
Sure.
but that just went, that they're it.
Right.
We got it. And I'm partial to Kurt with hair.
Same. Do not like the bald Kurt, but it worked for the story and the gimmick. So I go, yeah, it makes sense. But Kurt with hair just looks like
he's a dork.
Well, that's the thing.
He's a fucking
the
dork
gimmick
with
the
hair.
milk and he's just he literally looks like he should be selling you insurance.
When we transitioned to hairless, it's yes, then he evolved and
Sure.
became more of the wrestling machine badass.
Right.
And I think that's still in the era, because Attitude Era technically ends 2002.
Sure.
I think
something like that.
Ruthless Aggression is 2003.
Got it. Okay.
So we'll stick mostly with the hair.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's obviously a legitimate athlete. This photo I have up of him he looks fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's sculpted.
The singlet is perfect for him. It's the right look.
Right. The dorky hair I also think is perfect for him. I think the only thing is that despite his,
it looks like Proctor from Police Academy. Captain Harris and the other captain were the bad guys, right? In Police Academy movies.
Okay.
And then there was his lackey, Proctor, that they would always yell, Proctor! Proctor!
Okay. Lance Kinsey is the actor's name.
Yeah, and terrible shit would always happen to Proctor.
You know what? Yeah, I see
going
it.
to the gay bar, but he's got that same kind of hair. He's got the same goofy look. He's just that sort of dorky guy. Like, he always reminded me of, and I think this guy's great. He's a fucking fun actor. He's in the majority of the movies.
I mean, listen, he's nearly built the same.
Yeah, it's if Proctor, that dude, just went to wrestling school and just fucking started working out.
There he is.
But he was a dorky
Right.
guy. He was a flunky, and that's what Kurt was for so much of his time in the beginning.
Right.
With the exception of the fake medals, the replacement because they started
Right.
with the gold medal
Right.
initially with the
Right.
green strap, and then it turned into the kids' perfect attendance
chocolate. Yeah.
like the that strap, and then
And
there was worse
clank-
medals than that.
They clank together in a way that you can tell they're plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he had multiple ones, and you go, no, he had one. He had a gold medal.
Yeah, there's two there.
So that's the one knock of look. But I feel like that was a prop of like, I'm not going to take around the
Yeah.
real one anymore.
Right.
But no one's going to go to the effort to replicate it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing that held him down was his height. That's it. But even then, it kind of made him even
He's like
more legitimate because his size of
6'1".
Was he really that? I mean, I feel like
He's not Jericho.
there's a photo of me somewhere out there with him, and I feel like I remember him being a little short guy.
Maybe you're on an Apple box.
6 foot even.
6 foot even,
Yeah.
but with hair.
But I feel like the thing is that about that, yes, if we're just taking the Hitman scale and we're going like, are you a spectacle? 6 foot's not a spectacle. But there was something about his
His proportions.
it was sort of, we talked about this with Benoit and with like other small Eddie Guerrero, where he's small, but he's just like,
But he's
big.
built like a wrestler, because when you
Yeah.
hear the story and you go, oh, he's a wrestler, and you see it, and
Right.
he's wearing the singlet, and it's not a dopey gimmick in any way where
No.
it's, I'm gonna be a real amateur wrestler. Look at me,
Right.
I'm wearing this. Like, no, he basically just went, oh, this is my work clothes.
right,
I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna
Right.
fucking beat you up with it. It works for him.
right.
On many others, it probably doesn't work. But for him, I think it all aligns. And
I mean, I'm leaning
8.5?
8.5. I was gonna say, yeah, 8.5. Yeah, I think that's my choice, 8.5. And just leaned in. So no matter what the look was, the lean in is what really was exceptional with him.
yeah,
Because sometimes the look is
red, white, and blue
right.
color schemes.
Sometimes the look is like, maybe you're born with it, maybe it's Maybelline, And in this instance, like both things work together so perfectly, nature and nurture.
And at this
Yeah.
time, his physique never dropped.
No.
It was always great. He's a
Right.
star.
Promo, I mean, talk about a guy who did not come from entertainment and who made his clunky, stiff nature the gimmick and understood the reaction he was getting from people. Like this is lightning
didn't.
in a bottle. Sure.
Many of those stories, but what was great was the collaboration that one could have with Vince at the time,
Yes.
and questioning it, and ultimately going like, he's telling me this, do this thing. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
He's telling me they're going to hate that. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Kurt, they are. I don't get it. Weeks later. Oh,
Right.
But the era of driving in the car with guys and talking and
Sure.
being able to work one-on-one with Vince, and Vince clearly taking to you and
Right.
being interested. He was fucking really great at it. And you saw it clicking in real time
Right.
from,
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like he was clay. Like he showed up and they just kept molding him, but it didn't take very long. Yeah, I don't know. I think his
9?
promos. Oh, you think his promos better than his look?
yes. Oh,
Yeah,
for
no, I
sure.
think you
Because
might be right.
his promos from week to week,
Yeah.
when it got into we started going from, I'm super serious, I'm straightforward, I'm this guy, and everyone backstage knows, well, they're gonna hate you. They hate the blue chippers now.
Right.
Like they're all for the anti-heroes. So you're a fucking American winning dork. So this will work great for us. Boo, 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 we hate you. All right, well, I have intensity, integrity, and intelligence. I have the 3 eyes. Like, oh, okay, now he's got a hook. So he's doing that. And then it starts to get into, he's really great at burning the local sports teams and saying why they suck and making it flow really well. And then he would get into the dorky shit where
Right.
he's kind of, he's screwing things up. Like there's that, I think with Rey Mysterio, he's like, and I'll tell you that I I'm good at wrestling little boys because Rey Mysterio's a little boy. No, that's not what I meant. No, hold on. And saying things wrong in the crowd, getting on him during the what times,
Right.
all that. Like he was so good at it, either being fired up or being a major dork. And they gave him talking segments every time he'd go to the ring.
Right.
Because he was that good at it.
And it never took away from the character's legitimacy, the wrestling. It was always like, we want to hate you or whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
And then also, you're probably going to fucking beat our favorite guy because you're a fucking legitimate wrestler.
So I go 9. I think that's one of his best attributes.
Yeah.
I think it's a better attribute over his look.
Yeah,
His look is solid.
I do agree. It's like slightly, so that's fair. Wrestling. I mean,
10.
Come on. I mean, like the guy,
if we're rarely giving out 10s,
understood exactly how to make something look like he's in a fight. He incorporated his amateur wrestling background. He got his ass kicked. He would do the insane hardcore shit. He would do the catch as catch can. I mean, like the guy just got
could wrestle
lightning in a bottle.
Anybody.
Yeah, 100%. Never talked about that too. Like one of the best finishers in wrestling because there's literally nobody who couldn't put it on. Could make Big
Either
Show
one.
the biggest tap out.
Either
right.
the angle slam.
Yep.
Or the ankle lock.
Yep. I was specifically referring to the ankle lock, but right, of course, the ankle slam is still like
because he could do it to
and because his size made it so that all he needed was torque. He didn't need to lift anybody up into the air and hold them.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about somebody's own momentum.
And the moonsault, bit of a faux pas.
Right.
But thanks, Bob Holly, for taking the hit on the first one and letting your arm be broken.
Yeah.
So yeah, he always, not always, but there would be times when the moonsault happened, I think I could do that.
Right.
Really? Like if you don't know how to do it, and you're not a tiny guy, like don't do it. No, I think I could do that. That's no problem. Then he would do it off the cage. Like you're saying that we're escalating and going higher, but Duke could wrestle with anybody. He figured it out real fast. Never, at no point did, even if you grade him against the crop of guys, like I was talking, the UFC fighters and like Mark Henry and the real athletes, it always looked real. He's always making contact. He's always incredibly physical. The guy would pour fucking sweat afterwards. He gave it everything. There was no sense of
phoning it in,
a night off.
Right.
He was just 100% all the time. And unlike Dave Meltzer, who didn't give him a 5-star match ever in his career, like he clearly had him.
Right. 100%.
And it's undeniable that if we're giving out 10s every so often for something,
I could
there's a reason
more.
that he is who he is, and him being the wrestler beforehand and incorporated it perfectly. I have to give him a 10. I can't go 9.5 on the wrestling for him.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And it's like we said, like the guy could work with anybody, which I think is a big part of how good you are as a wrestler. Because there are some people who we go, yeah, they're really good, except when they're against this person or somebody like this or somebody who's not this. And Kurt Angle is not that. The guy is just a workhorse.
And I can certainly do it. And I know with your shitty memory, I'm sure you could name off at least 5 classic Kurt Angle matches.
I mean, probably given some thought and time, yes. But
you got a couple that you can fire off with?
Well, I mean, obviously Shane and Brock, some great ones. Austin, I think there were 2. What was that? See, the problem is I didn't watch pay-per-views when I was young, so I don't have pay-per-view matches.
You just read the newspaper.
Yep.
USA Today's breakdown.
Newspaper view, they called it.
Yep.
I was a newspaper view. The view I had of a newspaper.
Sure.
27.5 overall for Kurt.
Yeah. That's about right. When you're talking legendary wrestler and one of the best ever, you go, that makes sense that they're that high up there.
Well, there you have it. We did 5, technically 6-ish, but 5 Attitude Era entities: APA, Rikishi, Gangrel, Lita, and Angle. Who do you think was our lowest rated for the day? Easy guess.
Gangrel.
Or Gangrel. Highest rated of the day? Easy guess. Kurt Angle. Lita and Rikishi right in the same world, 17 and 18.
We'll go through the numbers again just for everybody.
APA, 21.
Okay.
Rikishi, 17.
Mm-hmm.
Gangrel, 10. Lita, 18. Kurt Angle 27.5, all out of 30.
Yeah,
I think this is a pretty fair system today.
I think so.
I think we might get some pushback
of the Attitude Era
Yeah.
for all these people.
I think we might get some pushback from some people about the APA's wrestling. That's the only thing I think that I could see people arguing that this should be higher.
We'll
gave them a
fucking
6,
do it and
but-
show these matches, people.
Yeah, I agree.
We're on our Discord. That's totally free, and you can post matches and comment about the episodes and do all that kind of stuff and interact with us.
That is true. You can also head on over to the Patreon, which is the best way to support the show. You can watch these episodes, the live streams of them, either in real time or after the fact. You can check out our Watch Along Wednesday series, all the other original material there over at patreon.com/PW Palskis. Check out the shop. Snag yourself a hat, maybe a hoodie, t-shirts, mugs, some phone cases, all sorts of really great stuff there. High quality merchandise that really does help us. We don't really, I guess we do mention that merchandise in every episode, but we don't really harp on how important it is for merchandise, not only to help, just support the show and put a few bucks. You don't make a ton of money off of merch, but put a few bucks in the pocket. But it's also just an easy way to spread the show, because you wear some merchandise and then someone asks you what the hell it is, and then you explain what it is, and then maybe you've created a new listener, a new member of the community. So merchandise is a really, really great way to help support the show, and looks great doing it. Of course, as Scott said, the Discord is completely free. All of the links to all of the stuff can be found at pwpalskis.com. Scott, we have to thank our current Patreon Palskis.
Of course, thank you all for supporting the show, and as Jake said, spreading the word about the show. So thank you to all of our current Patreon Palskis: Adrian Avina, AJ0314, Alex Pierce, Alice Rader, Andrea Beeler, Gilbert Short, Mass Llama, Mexican Stallion, Michael Beltran, Mike Lucas, Strong Style, Suicide, Tim Redbeard, Tom Hader, and the current PWP champ, Tony Griggs.
Thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support of the program. Could not, would not, should not do this without you. Hey, you want to call the hotline? That's 747-666-5606. Call the hotline. Tell us about all the ratings we had wrong.
It's always open 24/7. You can call anytime.
Yeah, leave some questions. Task us with annoying things to do if you'd like.
Yeah.
Tell us all your thoughts, and we'll play it live on the show. That's 747-666-5606. Didn't want to forget. That'll do it.
Yeah, check out. I'm posting more on social media, but of course, the hub for these videos of either Nearly Average Wrestling that Shane Hartline has created. You can follow Nearly Average Wrestling on social media accounts. And then also Shane Hartline. It is accounts where he posts the videos first of the wrestling writers' rooms. So there's a bunch of funny videos. There's current ones of the WrestleMania 41 ending and a bunch of Attitude Era stuff that we're talking about today. All that stuff is explaining the origins of those gimmicks. So check that out, or you can check out my social media, Scott Narver, and I repost those as well.
Scott, I think that'll do it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, an absolute blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis.
It's Dragon Wagon.